In this tutorial, I am going to present how to add Google height maps into CryEngine. Firstly, what we need to do is to download some software. One of them is called MicroDem, and you can download it by just entering term MicroDem into Google and visiting official website. When you do that, you can click download and download complete MicroDem install. When you're downloading this file and installing software on your computer, you are able to use files downloaded and to create a height map for CryEngine. Secondly, you have to have Google Earth installed on your computer. Let's run it. And you need to add one addition to Google Earth. It is called SRTM Google Earth Overlay. So let's just type it into Google search field, and you can see the first URL address called Ambiotech, and just clicking it, it is asking to open the file, and after you opening it, it is Google Earth plugin. After you opening it, it will install as Google Earth, and you may need to restart Google Earth after that. And when you will see SRTM into places field, and it is only one step needed to do to access to data, is just to click elevation to select it. And we can see that the globe is covered by net, which has a lot of data. CryEngine specifically is good for islands, because when you opening CryEngine, the edges of landscape must be in the water, or you can get some errors in that. So I am always using island landscapes and nothing else. Well, now it is the job to find your favorite island on the globe and just to download data. Okay, let's say I like to download data for Fiji in Pacific Ocean. You can zoom it, and you can download it by two ways. One is to click on this small house, I don't know, in every tile it is house painted in the middle, and you can just click to easily access data. Or you can just open elevation and to look for exact name 72 and 16 and just to select it. I will do the easier way, just to oops, no fault, just to click on to this small house, and we see the main download window for this data. You can see data for 7216. I tried several servers to download, but for me only worked with HTTP, so I am using this one. Sadly, it is opening in Google Earth, but I like to open it in Firefox. Anyways, this was my plugin which I showed you. So when you have this window opened, you can wait 60 seconds, or you can just click this link to download, and you will get the data immediately. You can see it. Well, so I am saving file, and I am saving it on my desktop, okay, to make it more clear. 3.4 megabytes. Okay, it is 60 seconds has passed, and we got offer to download another time. Well, so now we need to extract the zip file. Just click and depending on what software, I have WinRAR, but you can have other software, and just extract it to subfolder. It is easy way to extract, because you will never mix between original zip or other kind of archive files and folder. And this one I am just usually deleting. Remember, it is only 3.4 megabytes. And now we entering the folder, and we can see that ISC file is 200 megabytes. This is very huge file, and usually when you're downloading data from all the globe, this square is worth 200 megabytes. So if you are interested to cover such map as Australia or something like that, you need to be sure that it is space on your computer. The next step is to open this file with microdem. Just open the software and click File, Open. Well, we can see some of options. If you just downloaded one file, I mean one square, for example. Okay, let's have a look. For example, where I were somewhere in Pacific. Where is my Fiji? Anyways, if you want to get data for island which is not in one square but in several squares, you have to download in the same way this data square and this one. And then, when you have downloaded and extracted, you have to select option Open and Merge DEMS. But at this moment, I just downloaded one, so I just need to open this this one file. So where do I have it? Okay, it's here. And them files are ASC. You need to open ASC files always. Just click open and it is reading data. Well, data is read, and now we have colorful image. Now what we need, now listen very carefully because it is very important. Firstly, we need to set up elevation map to grayscale by clicking Modify Elevation, and in options box we have to select grayscale, and well, we are almost done. We can edit Z range, how much we need. Actually, in this case we have Z range between 18 and 1300 meters. This means that the range is 18 meters below the sea in black color, and 1000 and more than 1 kilometer below above the sea level. So that's okay. But for example, if you want to have very big edges into the sea, like a walls, you can decrease it, for example, like that, or even like that, and you will have very big mountains directly to the sea. So your island will be totally above the sea level. And just click OK and OK. Finally, we have a grayscale map. Now what we need, for example, I would like to export this island, this one, into my CryEngine and to make it as my main level island. So I need to select subset and zoom. All right. So I just did subset and zoom by this button. Now what I need to do is to click on this one spot. It is it enlarges this image in that way that you would be able to save it without losing resolution. And final step is to save map as image and select as geotiff screen scale grayscale. And we have to name it. Let's name it 1, for example. Save. Well, this is already done everything with microdem, and we will start working with our TIFF file. So this is our height map, but CryEngine does not recognize TIFF, so it needs to be converted into bitmap or other formats, but for me only works bitmaps. To do that, I will edit image with paint, but with one more step needed to do before exporting it to bitmap. It needs to resize to okay, let's do that. Firstly, what we need to resize, and we need to select pixels. I am working with only in paint, and I can see the original resolution of this image. I can see that vertical vertical is only 1600 pixels and horizontal is 2000 pixels. I need to deselect maintain aspect ratio, and I am always taking the lower resolution of standard resolutions. So it has to be, for example, 5. I forgot it. 512, I guess, 1024 or 2048. All right. So it is 1600. So it is no point to increase resolution up to 2000 whatever, because we don't have such resolution height map and it is useless. So let's work like that. And finally we have our height map in such way, and we can see that it is resized. Actually, I can say that it has been how to say that, it looks like not very original. It is you can use other software, for example GIMP or something like that. To GIMP, it is free software. You can find it on the internet by writing GNP, and it is free software. So for resizing you should use canvas size, I guess. I don't remember actually, but it is called canvas size. And when you will not you will get actually the same image as it was, but now we have pushed it a little bit into this direction, and but not in this. So it is it has lost some data, and it is it can look not very natural in general. So okay, but we have what we have. So so now it is left to save it as bitmap. Let's do that. Okay. Well, I tried several times, but 24-bit bitmap worked for me fine in CryEngine. So let's save it to 1-point bitmap. And alright, it is 1024. So now we can just import. I already started my CryEngine. File, new, 1024, 1 meter. So now let's name it. Okay, how to name it? Tutorial 1. Let it be like that. Terrain, import, and let's import my bitmap. You can try PGM or raw files, but they does not work. Maybe GMP or other software does not save in the right way. I am not sure, but bitmaps works only in that way I showed you. For example, I tried with GIMP, but it does not work. So Paint work in that case very well. But for resizing, not to lose original data, you may try GIMP. Okay, so let's open our bitmap, and we can see how beautiful is our island here. Well, I am always forgetting to modify, and I am quite sure. Take a look at this terrain. It is like icebergs, which are not natural, but it is, as I said, I am always forgetting to fix it. Okay, here is 1 kilometer, so we have to we need to look at this radius as it was before, and it was actually here what we can see, the distance is okay. I don't remember how big is distance. Yes, it is, but it is, you can see, it is in 100 kilometers. Let's say the whole image can be 150 kilometers. And here we have only 1 kilometer. So it is 100 times smaller island here. And of course, when we are doing 100 times smaller thing, it might look not natural, but we may try some other things to remove these unnatural effects. So now we need to find the height of this, and to make more similar like it is in reality, not in Google, in MicroDem. We can look at height as in elevation. We set height. It is 1300. It means that it is 1 kilometer height and 100 kilometers length. So if in CryEngine it is 100 times smaller, the same has to be with Z scale. It has to be only 30 meters. But as you know, as you know, in CryEngine, if we will set 13 meters maximum height here, it would be below water level, and if we would set water level, for example, okay, let's try and we will see that 2 meters. Okay, water level is set. Max height 13 meters. You can see that surface has been cutted, smoothed, or I don't know how to say that. My English is not very good, but I am trying to explain it as much as I can. So now I need to re-import height map. Yes, finally I got my height map, but I can see that even 2 meters of water level is too much. Let's try 1 meter. It is better, but it is of course not what we want. For example, if we look from here, we can see that it might look natural, but well, it is not very natural, and it does not suit in that scale. So how we can fix that? Well, we can make it not so much natural. We may make bigger mountains. Of course, we will lose not data, but we will lose natural things on Z scale. But I don't know better example in my case now. So let's do that. Let's increase my height, max height, and all right, it 1 kilometer, and let's say it should be 64 meters. Maybe it won't be very much. Water level, let's make it to 2. Okay. re-import my height map, and we got the result. But as I said, mountains are not very natural. They are still pretty big. Maybe 32 or smaller values would work better. So okay, let's try it on 32. Re-import. Yes, it is a lot of better, but we can see sinking water into the ground, which where it should not be. But well, I think it might be all right. So now, well, we can celebrate because we already have our height map imported into my CryEngine file, and yes, and this is it. Well, for looking better, I can change texture very fast, and okay, selecting texture, clicking on material, and I like grass. This one, grass 9, is very good tiled. I am using it very often, but it is packed into package, so we can see locks onto these files which are packed. So I just right click on this and selecting duplicate here, and I getting new texture, and I am assigning it to my yes, I got assigned. And well, but it is white. It is not green. It needs to work a little bit more. Now let's change this one, which I usually change into gray. I hate these tiles, and this will be not tiled. Okay, and finally I can change this one a little bit, diffuse color here. I am not sure if it will work, but I may try. Yes, it works very well. So it is very fast solution to just to select. Yes, this is it. Okay, and I can get, yes, and finally I got the result. But well, as I might work on other files, I better prefer to do this in that way. But we can see that in bigger distances it does not take effect. This actually is needed to configure onto detail layers view dist ratio, into environment tab, into I don't know, into terrain tab. So let's just change it to not to 1 but to 2, for example, and we can see that the detailed terrain is showed in much bigger distance, and we can check by looking at FPS how much frames per second do we have, and if we are losing or not our performance on this. So let's make it, okay, let's make it 10. Yes, we lost a little bit, but actually after that it works well. And we still have some tiles we may need to paint it manually, or we may need to import bitmap, which I will not do on that tutorial, but the height map is imported well. And if you will find the best island, it is the best to do to find small islands like this one, but it is not good, because this one, I don't remember, because this survey which was used to measure the height, exactly, height, to measure the height, the height was measured only 90 meters in resolution. Yes, it is 90 meters. For example, if we would zoom in, I don't know if it will work, but yes, we can see that we don't have a better look, and it is only 30 meters. And for example, if we will have a very small island, we will not have these details. So in our map, we will see just very big, in a very big plane. For example, this mountain, which we can see here, can be like that, and we will not see any effect. It might be only, for example, 2, 3 or several more mountains into our map, and yes, and this is only because the resolution of the survey does not allow to have better quality of images. So reality in CryEngine from Google Earth does not come fully. It comes only partially. So if you find island, for example, the biggest problem is that you find island which is 100 kilometers. If you want to see details, you can of course make a map of 100 kilometers into CryEngine, but try to imagine how long will it will it compile. For example, even text, even terrain with 4,000 with 4,000 squares compiles much longer than with 2,000 squares. So, and I found that onto 4,000 squares. Okay, let's have a look on that. I found that, for example, here on this resolution height map, it is like 4 or 5, or I don't remember, maybe even 10 or 20 times faster than on this resolution. And I got some errors on this. Sometimes CryEngine crashes. With one more, but I have never tried. I think I tried once, but it doesn't even do the most similar things like generate terrain by default, which of course is not loaded from bitmap. So I am not using these very big resolutions. Another way to increase is to keep a resolution in a low quality and to increase meters per unit size. For example, we can reach 100 kilometers by setting here 100. Not here is not possible to select, but it is possible to select somewhere set unit size. Here you can select whatever you want. So it actually needs to work a little bit if you want to have more natural terrain. But now we can say that we can have pretty natural terrains, and for example, such terrains as these ones are very hard to model with any kind of software. For example, if you will look at Google Earth, what kind of surface we are. For example, I was trying to cover this island near Australia, and it has very beautiful places like this one, with these mountain walls, and as this island is very big, the resolution is covering island in very good resolution of height maps we can get from this island, and you can see all rivers and so on your CryEngine on this, and you can feel more natural into the CryEngine. So this is it for this tutorial. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Secondly, you have to have Google Earth installed on your computer. Let's run it. And you need to add one addition to Google Earth. It is called SRTM Google Earth overlay. So let's just type it into Google search field, and you can see the first URL address called Ambiotech, and just clicking it, it is asking to open the file, and after you opening it, it is Google Earth plugin. After you opening it, it will install as Google Earth, and you may need to restart Google Earth after that. And when you now, it is the job to find your favorite island on the globe and just to download data. Okay, let's say I like to download data for Fiji in Pacific Ocean. You can zoom it, and you can download it by two ways. One is to click on this small house, I don't know. In every tile, it is house painted in the middle, and you can just click to easily access data. Or you can just open elevation. We'll see SRTM into places field, and it is only one step needed to do to access to data, is just to click elevation to select it. And we can see that the globe is covered by a net, which has a lot of data. CryEngine specifically is good for islands, because when you opening CryEngine, the edges of landscape must be in the water, or you can get some errors in that. So I am always using island landscapes and nothing else. Well, and to look for exact name 72 and 16, and just to select it. I will do the easier way, just to oops, no fault, just to click on to this small house, and we see the main download window for this data. You can see data for 7216. I tried several servers to download, but for me only worked with HTTP, so I am using this one. Sadly, it is opening in Google Earth, but I like to open it in. In this tutorial, I am going to present how to add Google height maps into CryEngine. Firstly, what we need to do is to download some software. One of them is called MicroDem, and you can download it by just entering term microdem into Google and visiting official website. When you do that, you can click download and download complete microdem install. When you're downloading this file and installing software on your computer, you are able to use files downloaded and to create a height map for CryEngine.